Hey guys, Emery here, and today I'm going to be bringing to you my E3 2007 impressions. I'll start off with Microsoft because they went first. Microsoft really did not have anything new to bring this year. Which would be fine if they had the titles to go along with that. I'd be fine if they brought out a lot of new games that were cool, but they really didn't. The main things they pushed were Gears of War 3, which I could care less about. I'm not a Gears fan. Forza 4, which I'm looking forward to. I've only played Forza 3 out of the series, but I do like it, so I'm looking forward to Forza 4. The really big news was that they announced 2 new Halo games. The first one being the anniversary edition of the first Halo game, and that's going to come with redone graphics. So basically the graphics of Halo Reach, and that's coming out later this year. I'll probably get it because they announced that it's going to be budgeted price, which will probably be $45 or less. And for that price, I really miss the first Halo game, and so it'll be worth getting. The second Halo game is Halo 4, which actually is the start of a new trilogy, and that'll come out holiday of next year, I believe. They really didn't show much about it, but that's what next year's E3 will be about, I'm sure. The next is Elder Scrolls V, which I didn't care for number 4, Oblivion, so I really don't care much about this game. And other than that, they really just pushed a lot of Kinect titles, and I've never really been a fan of the Kinect, and they didn't really put out that many games this year for it that I was interested in that would make me want to get it. Really, the coolest looking one was, I believe, called Rise, where you are a Roman or Greek soldier, and you basically fight the way that they would with the shield and the sword. It looks okay, I guess, but it's not enough to really sell me on the whole Kinect thing. Next up was Sony. Their press conference was the night after Microsoft, and these guys I thought did an okay job. Their big thing was their new handheld, which is basically the successor to the PSP. It's called the PSP Vita, I think, and it looks pretty cool. It's definitely a step up from the previous PSPs, and although it looks cool, I'm not sure if it has the games to go along with it to really sell it, at least to me. I've never had a PSP, mostly because a lot of the games didn't appeal to me. And as far as handheld goes, I prefer the DS. And if I had enough money, I'd probably get a PSP or this new Vita, but it's really come down to the choice to me between the two, and I just prefer the DS. Other than that, Sony didn't have too many more exclusive games. The one that really caught my eye was Uncharted 3, and that game, really fantastic graphics. That game kind of makes me wish that I had a PS3. I've heard good things about all the Uncharted games. They've all won like Game of the Year, and really anyone who has a PS3 pretty much has that game just because it looks so great. It looks basically like you're playing a movie. And next up is Nintendo, and I thought that these guys had the most to bring to the table this year. The big thing was the Wii U, which is the first console of the next generation. And although it's not coming out till next year, and they don't have any games, they didn't announce any games for it yet. Everything that they had was demos. It looks really cool. It's a lot of people are on the fence about it. You either hate it or you like it. I'm kind of sold on it. It looks pretty cool. The big thing for me is the controller. I'm not sure if it looks uncomfortable, but I'd really have to pick up and play it. Uh, the controller is basically like a little iPad. It's got a screen on it, and you can either play the game on the TV or on your screen. And the screen is interactive, or the controller itself is interactive with what you see on the screen, which I think is really cool. It's basically a step up from the Wii, although it takes it in a different way that really it doesn't feel like the Wii 2. It feels like its own thing, and I think that it'll be pretty popular. Um, yeah. So the other thing that Nintendo had was a lot more 3DS games. Last year's E3, they brought out the 3DS, and they announced all of these really great games that were going to come for it, but when it came to launch, they had a really weak selection of 3DS games, and I'm surprised that the 3DS sold as many units as it did, considering it had really nothing for games. So this year they announced actual release dates and had a lot more like gameplay footage and everything of these games that they talked about last year. They showed a lot more of Kid Icarus, and I believe gave a release date. Star Fox, just a lot of great titles that they talked about. The Ocarina of Time remake has a release date, and oh, and the Skyward Sword that they talked about last year, I believe has a release date now, and they did talk more about that game. I told myself that I would get a 3DS as soon as the first price drop, and just seeing Nintendo's press conference this year, it makes me look forward to that even more, because the titles that they released for that were just great. So just to recap, I think Nintendo had the most to bring. And as far as Sony and Microsoft, I thought even Sony was the only one out of those two that really brought something new. I thought that they both did okay, about the same. I wasn't too thrilled about either one of those. For both of those companies, it was kind of just another year to where next year will probably be their big moments, and they'll maybe be hinting at, hopefully, their next home console, and hopefully be bringing a lot more big titles to their selection. Thank you.